Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and in this edition of Let's Learn Dragon Ball FighterZ, we're going to be talking about how to create pressure. Now what I mean by pressure is more than just simple basic offense, like, you just going in and attacking. I mean more, trying to crack open your opponent's defense. If your opponent's a smart cookie, they know how to block, they know how to deflect, they know all sorts of things. So this is going to be talking about how to get around all that, definitely make the most of your assists, and generally just how to crack the opponent open and so you can get your damage in. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So let's start with a basic building block of pressure here, and that is block strings. So let's say here the foe is going to block everything. We know for a fact, he's very good on defense. So we're just going to create a basic block string here. So for Cell, let's use this example here. So we're going to do that. So the first hit's a low, and the successive hits you can all block standing, except for that final part there with the second medium, which is a sweep. So they do have to block that low. So we can kind of change it up a little bit. So instead of going for that low that we know for a fact it's going to come and they know for a fact it's going to come, we can then cancel our first medium into an overhead. So the dummy is set to block everything, so he did block that. But a player, then you can say at the end of the block string, you have more than enough time to confirm the opponent is blocking. So you can mentally assert, I know what's happening, they know what's happening. So in and of itself, that's a bit of a 50-50. So they now have to guess the overhead or the low. Now, in and of itself, the low is a much scarier option than the overhead because, obviously, the overhead just kind of exists by itself. So not a big deal. However, that's why we got our assists here, because the assists can turn that to a much bigger deal. So any given overhead, and we'll talk about some more options in depth in a little bit here, but any given overhead, as long as you have an assist to back it up, and this works with near every assist in the game, all you got to do is just call the assist when you're doing your overhead, and don't hit them at the same time or that's going to happen. Don't hit your assist and your overhead at the same time or you will call in your tag partner, so you got to watch out about that. But as long as you call them at roughly the same point, some assists you might have to call a split second before, some assists you might have to call a split second afterwards. But as long as you get it right here, and then boom, easy peasy, we get a whole combo. Like, it's not a big deal. All you have to do, once again, if you're going for that overhead low pressure, just have an assist to back you up. Even if you're unfortunate and say have 18 on your team, she won't be able to help with the overhead part and getting a combo. But almost every character in the game can easily do it. So just make sure, you call your buddy in, and then you'll just get a free combo. So an overhead by itself is not too much of a threat, but as long as you have at least one assist open to help back it up, then it becomes a true threat, and you can turn it into any kind of real combo situation, which the enemy will treat as just as dire of a threat as the low, which now makes going for the low and the block string viable again into, more combo opportunities because they have to treat each threat equally. Now, another concept to be aware of is delaying your hits to create pressure. So say you just go for your full string every time, there's usually no gaps. So the enemy can just mash jab the whole time. And if you stop, then they'll get their attack, or maybe they'll get their attack at the end of your heavy move or whatever have you. But there's no way they can really just be punished for hitting buttons during this block string because there's no point for them for a button to come out. So in comes the idea of just delaying your attacks ever so slightly, usually starting with a jab, to give them the opportunity, if they are hitting buttons, to basically let them hang themselves, and then you can get a conversion from it. So we got the dummy set up here. He does a jab, he slightly delays into another jab, and then he goes into his medium. So right here, if I try to mash in between that point, see here I'm going to get counter hit. So it is a viable strategy just to ever so slightly just delay your moves. And you don't want to delay, I'm not saying you can't, but you usually don't want to delay with the mediums because they're much more negative on block than the jab is. But generally you just want to poke, and then just fish a little bit because you won't be able to convert on reaction with a jab. No one has those reflexes. But just fish a little bit, just, give them room to want to try to do something. When it's just like this, they feel like, oh, it's my turn, I can do something now because, he's not just going into the whole string here. And generally speaking, most jabs have very slight advantage on block, so you can use it to basically keep the pressure up and make them want to hit something when it's really not safe to do so. Now, going on from that jab pressure, and since I did mention on that jab pressure how you usually very slightly advantage after each jab, we consider that kind of a frame trap, or mathematically you just have the frame advantage, so it's not wise to stick buttons out. Now here's a frame trap that near everyone has, although some people have it better than others, and that's with the stand heavy or crouch heavy into each other. So now I'm sure you've seen like whatever string a million times, and people go right into their homing dash, which at a point you just down heavy for free, and some people can just jab it out straight out. And much same crouch heavy into homing dash and all that. Now that's not necessarily the smartest decision to make. However, some characters, and this is better with characters with longer range stand heavies and longer range crouch heavies. So just this right here. So stand heavy into crouch heavy. Now I'm going to try my darndest to hit my fastest button, which is my standing jab, right through that. Actually, you know what? Before I even do that, let's just turn on the input just so we can see how hard I'm going to mash. Just to really hit it on home. So right there, the game gives you enough time. You're not in permanent block stun, so it gives you time to hit a button. However, there is no button you're able to hit fast enough to get through that. So we consider that a frame trap. Now this is pretty much universal. Now people like Android 21, people like Goku Black can do it a little bit better than most because they have you know, very long range stand heavy and crouch heavy. As you see here, no way out. And then from that point, then they can special cancel it. And even though Baby Gohan here, as long as he's point blank, he can still do it as well. So you gotta watch out. Like, so he couldn't do it as far away as Goku Black could, because because of his range. But as long as you keep that in mind, the character's range and the statistics of their move, it's basically a given frame trap. And at that point, you want to make them scared of blocking. And after that, once you dictate, I'm scared to hit a button, so I'm just going to block, that's when you can do other silly things. That's when, then homing dash becomes a viable option again, and you get free pressure from that, and just many options. Once you can dictate their blocking, you can dictate many things about what you're going to do, because they're just going to be passive and try to block everything. So once again, stand heavy into crouch heavy, pretty much universally. It'll give you enough time to hit a button through, which is what they want you to do, because then it'll give them the hit, and of course off the crouch heavy they get a full combo. It is a fantastic pressure tool. Although, just to quickly mention on that character note, even though little Baby Gohan, even with his little T-Rex limbs, can do it, someone like Nappa, he just can't, because his down heavy goes straight up, so he's unable to create this kind of pressure, unfortunately. Now, keep going back to the block string scenario here. So the foe is blocking everything here. So what we can do now is call our assist. So in this exact scenario, say we know they're going to block. So we're going to use our assist to basically reset the pressure. So right here, oh, they're blocking everything. I'm going to call my Yamcha assist in. Yamcha gives me time to recover, and I can basically go for broke again. So in this situation now, Yamcha lets me keep going in for pressure. Now, I can high or low here. Or I can once again just go for a low. So they have to guess high or low. Also, depending on the character, you can go for a cross-up. Now, keep in mind here, if you catch them as the assist is hitting, there is a form of cross-up protection as the assist is hitting. So especially for, say, longer lasting assists like Vegeta's, if you call them and you go for a cross up as the assist is still connecting, they will not be crossed up. They will basically block both left and right simultaneously. So keep that in mind for characters who hold the opponent in place during their assist, that you have to wait a split second to cross them up. Because even if I perfectly hit them with my cross up instant air dash, if they're in the middle of that block stun, they have left-right cross-up protection. So if we go back to our Yamcha example here, so if I cross up after he's done hitting, then I can hit left-right with the cross-up. But as he is hitting, then the left-right will not work. However, same side, no matter what, they still have to guess correctly for high and low. So keep in mind once more, if the assist is hitting, same side, you can still high-low them all day for free. But as the assist is hitting, you have to delay your cross-up attempt just a smidge so they're out of the block stun. Because otherwise, if the assist is hitting, they will have left-right protection for their block while the foe is in block stun with the assist. Now, another concept of pressure is the pressure doesn't stop just because the combo ended. So I'm going to do a very basic combo here into a super, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. So into Trunks super, and wouldn't you know it. So I knew he was going to air recover because that's the property of Trunks' level 1 super, is it forces them to air recover. And if he air recovers in a normal position like most people will 99% of the time, that lets me jump up and immediately get an air grab. So this is much the same here, so I can have it tech to up air recovery as well. And I'll still get him. Now this isn't to say it's infallible, but most people, generally speaking, will try to either up or back recover, at least in this early stage of the game, when not everyone's as advanced as they will be several months from now. But it is a way to catch people, you know, kind of asleep at the wheel. Because then you basically get a second combo, and you might be able to destroy the character after that second combo, after, you know, you got your, you know, that's a generalized combo example, this one here. But after, you know, you got your big meaty combo, you end with your level 1, and you can get, you know, your Dragon Rush afterwards. You do have to jump in the air to do this, but you can do it. Now, that is to say the enemy is completely helpless, because say the exact same situation here, and say they know you're going to do this, right? So, if they know you're going to do this, they can forward cover, and once you know, that's not going to work. Now, that's not to say the forward recovery is infallible and beats all options, because it certainly doesn't. So, let's tag in Android 21 here, and I'm going to show you an example that beats the forward recovery. So in that situation, we knew they were going to forward recover, so we used her anti-air absorb to snatch them out of the air and put them back into the corner. So as long as you know what your opponent is going to wake up with and recover, and once again, there's many options for both air and ground recovery, so you do have to have an educated idea what's going to happen. You can absolutely punish their options and keep your offense going. So in that situation, he did the up recovery, so I planned to do the anti-air grab, but since he stayed same side, I just did the regular grab, so it made it not work. So in that situation right there, he would have basically called my bluff. I did the wrong thing. He gets to recover for free. So it's a game of give and take, absolutely, but if you know what the enemy's going to do, you can get either something, you know, little small like that absorb grab, or something big like Trunks Dragon Rush into another full combo. Now, another way to create pressure is off the Snapback. And what I mean by Snapback is this. So, after you do your Dragon Rush and force the character to tag out against their will, you can create pressure. So, normally when you defeat a character, you'll see the little cinematic and you both start, you know, in the round 1 fight position and go from there. However, when you snap the full back, you get to move around while they get to move around. So, here's example 1 of pressure. So, you snap them back and you can Dragon Rush them again on the wake up. Now, as they get up, they get to move, they get to do stuff, so that's not guaranteed by any stretch of the matter. But you can also do things like this. You can run forward and try to down heavy them if they try to hit buttons to say beat the Dragon Rush. And here's a little nasty example, and this works with Nappa because his crouch heavy goes straight up. So he happened to miss out on the stand heavy into crouch heavy scenario, but in this scenario he happens to win out. So say we snap back in the corner. So the enemy's going to come above our head here, right? So if we snap back in the corner, that can hit as a cross-up. So here, let me set our enemy settings to block, just so you can see what I'm talking about. So see how he had to block the other side. So since Nappa goes straight up, and this works with some other characters, not just Nappa, like it also would work with Beerus. The pressure they have from the snapback, they have to immediately block cross-up as they get back in. That is not a natural state to want to do. Because normally, if a lot of characters, like say you're Goku Black, they go for this, it's just going to whiff and they'll get out of the corner for free. Despite its absurd range, absurd hitbox and all that, this is one aspect where Goku Black would not succeed. But Nappa would, because it goes straight up vertically, and a bit to the back as well. So in this scenario here, we can create cross-ups while they're recovering from the screen. So that way, it hits same side. So also, you can create a bit of a 50-50 there. So if you do it early, you will hit the same side. So the enemy will block the traditional way. However, if you delay it, then they have to block cross-up. So this is incredibly strong and a way to force a 50-50 after a snapback. So it's incredible for pressure. So that concludes our video for today. I hope this opened your eyes to some of the aspects of pressure. It's certainly more than just, running in and smashing all your buttons. You do have to think critically of, what assists do I have available? Where am I on the screen relative to them? If I do get the hit, how are they going to recover? What can I do to chase after that recovery? This, that, and the other. There's plenty to do. When else fails, just the basic, do a lot of attacks and call your assists and keep doing pressure. That's always great too. That's definitely the old tried and true method, but I hope this video was worthwhile for you informationally, because there's a big world out there and there's a lot more than I didn't talk about, to be sure, because a lot of it gets into character specifics, but there is so much out there, and this is definitely a game, where you can really think creatively to get your pressure on and anything to crack open your opponent's defense. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.